Hi, this is Catherine Rosen with BoardGameGeek here at SPIEL 2019. I'm sitting here with Eric Martin from BoardGameGeek, but he's here to talk about Castles of Burgundy from Alea.
Yes, Alea is celebrating its 20th anniversary in 2019. It debuted way back a long time ago with Ra. Now it is rebooted in a sense. Its large box game line. It started with title number 1, Las Vegas Royale, which was a new version of Las Vegas. So for its first 2 titles, it's taken existing games in the Alea catalog and changed them up in some way. Yes, Las Vegas Royale used some material from the expansion that had come out, but not all of it. And it introduced new elements as well. It had a different graphic look on the cover.
Yeah, a bit more streamlined.
Yes.
In a sense.
So the line editor, Stefan Brook, at a press event I attended, talked about how they were trying to refresh the look of the Alea line for the shelf. And that's really what it is, because it has a very different look on the box, but the look inside is very Alea.
Yes,
is very much what you would expect to see from Alea. For good or bad, however you want to think about it. Yeah.
And the box itself is very nice with the...
Yes, it's got this very classic look.
Shiny 3D effect on the box as well.
But it hasn't really redone the board to match that same look. It still looks like very Alea family game, German game.
Yes, very much so.
How's that look here? So we won't give an overview of Castles of Burgundy. The game's almost 10 years old. We'll assume you kind of know that. Also, I have not played.
I mean, the boards look very similar.
Yes. Well, it has the same board. So it has the 4 copies of the 1 board, which is in the box originally. 4 copies of the 2 board so that every player can play and they have the same board as before. However, the main difference in this edition is it's not the Castles of Burgundy, the deluxe edition, or something along those lines. It's more of a comprehensive edition. Okay. So over the years, Alea has released a number of expansions for Castles of Burgundy.
A number. Typically
sold through BoardGameGeek, mostly because many people asked for them, and we kept pushing Alea, and they would kind of create expansions, I think, just for us. I think that's how it generally works. Yeah. And now this edition compiles them all in one box, so you can get everything that has been sold separately elsewhere with one new element in there. So for example, in addition to the number 1 and number 2 duchies, you also have 3 through 10, where there is a single copy of each duchy, which has a different arrangement of tiles. So there's 3 and there's 8 and 9. So you can have some variety in terms of the sizes of the areas that you're going to be building. Okay. Aside from that, you can jump to the team version of the game.
With big boards, all right.
Team version, yes. So we would play as a team, and we each have 2 private key areas where we are going to, as we get tiles from the display, I can put it into the shared area, so then either of us can use them, or my personal area where hands off. And we score points for this at the end of the game. So there is this board, and then on the other side is this other board.
Slightly different.
Yeah, slightly different. The rules are pretty much the same, except for just how we're building things here. So aside from that, there is a solo version.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Several different areas. That's kind of cool.
Yes, has multiple areas. Has slightly different rules. It also has an advanced board. This is the beginner board, and then it has an advanced board on the other side with lots of little areas that you're building. The gameplay changes because your goal in the solo game is to cover all the spaces in 25 rounds.
Okay.
That's what you're trying to do. And if you do that, then you win. There's no other condition, but there's a number of rules that have changed to help make that happen.
Or make it more difficult.
Generally, well, so the main thing is you are initially trying to score 50 points. And some rules have changed with shipping and with some other things just because you're on your own. You're not competing for areas. When you hit 50 points, you then get a free die action. Okay? And then you reset the counter to 45 points. And then when you hit 45 points, you get another free die action. And so you slowly bump down that total by 5 each time, which will sort of accelerate the pace of the game. And if you cover all 37 spaces, then you win. And of course, you could start with a lower total. They say 45 should be pretty easy if you start with 45 and then bump down to 5 each time. And then you can go up. So there's another new challenge in there.
Interesting.
Yes, there's a set of border towns that was sold separately. The details of which I do not remember. I should remember. There's 11A through F. And they're all related to border towns, and there's some special rules in there that I don't recall. There's also
a whole bunch of maps.
There's a little mini expansions where you have 4 tiles. That was one of the expansions. Just 4 tiles where geese count as a wild animal in the pasture, and they count as matching any animal group that you have there, or crane, where you put the crane in, and you get to use any building that you already have in your duchy. A couple new monasteries. There are white castles. That was another tiny expansion that you put in there, and you get to use the white die when you're building the white castle. So there's that. There are inns. There's sort of all the colors can go anywhere in here. Doesn't provide a bonus, but it covers the space. There are shields. There's 18 shields. And when you set up the gameplay, you're going to put out 6, 9, or 12 shields in these areas, based on the number of players. And when you roll doubles, or when you use workers to modify dice to make doubles, instead of taking tiles, you can take one of the shields and you put it on a castle that is in your duchy. And that gives you an ongoing effect, as long as that's available. So if you get another shield, then it could cover that one, or of course, if you put another castle on your board, it will go there instead. So you forego getting tiles, but you're getting some other special power to do things. There are trade routes, and this was added in the new version of Notre Dame, where they included this expansion. You put some trade routes tiles on the side of your duchy, or you can put them above your duchy. I think that'd be a better place for them. And as you sell trade goods, you cover the spaces on the trade routes. And if the color of the goods matches the color of this space, then you take the bonus that you cover. But you have to cover them from left to right. So you initially are playing here and here. So that may impact what you're collecting. I think there are some different changes to what you start with. Just otherwise, there's no chance of you doing these. So you get a little hose that way. They have moved the action summary to its own board. So instead of having it on the main board, so you can have everything here for what each of the tiles does.
And then if someone's asking a question, you can
each of the buildings do.
There's several of them.
Oh, yeah, there's one for each player.
Fantastic.
Yes. So you can put that there, or just leave it off the table if you don't need it, because you've memorized everything. This little summary on the back of things up here. Okay. So, of component quality, it's an Alea game, and it is Alea components. So people complain initially about the thin boards, and they have thin boards here. Yeah. And that's what they've been doing for many games, and they're sticking to what they're doing, probably to give a €40 price point on the game.
I mean, there's a reason why the game has the price it has, right?
Yes. It is not a deluxe edition again. It is just the comprehensive Castles of Burgundy edition. So it has that same style of board, which I personally don't understand the complaints, because I just put this on the table and I put stuff on it. And I'm not interacting with it. I'm not driving a car and I want it to go up a hill. I don't know. I don't get the complaints.
It also takes a lot less space in the box and keeps the box from being too weighty.
Yeah. So
but they are thin. Yeah. If that's something you don't like, then
maybe there'll be another option down the road, something else.
Some deluxe edition sometime in the future.
Who knows what could happen? So other changes, not really any changes. Chad says he thinks the tiles feel a little thicker. The version I had a couple of misaligned sheets, so some things are way off in terms of the alignment, but I don't think that's standard in the box. I think that's a one-off on what I received. I guess you'll see if you open the box yourself. Other than that, any other questions?
I mean, wooden pieces and nice dice, and the quality seems pretty good.
It's the standard for what they're doing, where they're sort of rebooting the line and then reimagining things. And of course, that's what happens with a lot of games over the years, is you come out with a new edition and you revise the rules based on feedback, or
maybe even just revising the rule book.
Yes,
can be a big thing in and of itself.
Yeah, because the rule book as well has all the expansions in it and all the rules for it, so it's all comprehensive.
So instead of several different little sheets of paper, right? Trying to remember everything's there in the book?
So that's an overview of the new version of Castles of Burgundy. As for future titles in the Alea line, they have said nothing yet. So
keep your ears peeled,
Yeah.
your eyes peeled, or whatever you want to use.
Peel something, whatever you want. Yeah, they'll announce and we'll see whether it's new or a reboot of something that we've seen before. All in time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Castles of Burgundy from Alea.